question is what brings him down. Some people do, and some people here today were doing it like this. But this is too exposed. In Jiu-jitsu, you don't expose your armpit area, the place where your armor is not there. You don't expose it. Even in modern law enforcement, we don't stand in weaver stance anymore because there's no armor there. We're always like this, okay? So you don't open the armpits. So that can't be right. Also, things that are done in a yin-yang universe are done incrementally, not all at once. So that can't be right either, okay? And also, things that are done in a yin-yang world are done in harmony with yin-yang. So I wouldn't be pulling against his standing base, okay? I need him to be lowering in some way that I would then continue his lowering. Does that make sense? So you wouldn't ever do this technique like this. That wouldn't work. Right? So let's first, because it's so simple, let's identify where he first lowers himself, because I need to lower him. You just reverse engineer that. I need to lower him, then I need to extend his lowering energy, then he must be lowering himself prior to that. Let's find out where he first lowers himself. When he comes from the ground. So don't stick your hands up here, because then this is not good. And not good, okay? So whatever I do is going to be in conjunction with his reaching for my hands. Does that make sense? Okay. Then let's go back and let's look at the hand work. Okay? I have Gedan, Chudan, Jodan. Gedan, Chudan, Jodan. It again does not make sense that I have three things. I have one thing, but those are phases amongst that one thing. So if I was combining my outward spiral, do you see it, with my inward spiral, and I do a movement like this, do you see? So I go Gedan, Shudan, Jodan. That's how I always begin. You never go to Jodan like this. Jodan doesn't start down here. Gedan, do you see? And you never go to Chudan like that. You have to pass through Chudan, then Jodan. Do you understand? Do you guys understand? Okay. So, here, I'm doing Chudan. Jodan, we did yesterday. Here, Chudan. Chudan, this one. But I can't just do Chudan. I have to do Gedan to get to Chudan. Just like I have to do Chudan to get to Jodan. Do you understand? So, in the technique we just saw demonstrated, this was the Chudan hand doing the Chudan movement. That's not right. Let's look at what it does to him. I am pulling him, do you see, against his fingers. But if I start with Gedan, I'm coiling him around my grip. Do you understand? So not here. It's going to be coiled in. Coiled in, boom. And that's how I bring it down. Hold a little slower. Coil his grip. You see? Then when it comes to my center line, that's where I turn it back over and do the Qigong. I don't want to pull him and cut this off. I want to coil slower. I want to coil him. Gets to my center line. Or now my two hands meet in Kitan and spread and shoot on. Coil, center line, pull. And the left. Coil, center line, almost spread. So yesterday, Jidan, Shudan, Jodan. But today, Jidan, through Shudan. Okay? Jidan, Shudan. So just answering the question, how does he come down? Okay? So the question is, how do I get up from cutting the hand off to the heart pattern or to the head? Okay? Let's go over Gidon again. If you hold my four corners still, this dual movement, Jodan, this dual movement is going to look like this, Jodan, right? Chudan, right? And Gidon, okay? But it looks like my hands are going out away from each other. You understand? But when I start the movement, when bringing my hands together, you see, it's when I stay here that my hands start to go out. But in the midst of bringing my hands from together to out, I start to turn, right? Although my hands look like they're going out, there's going to be an inwardness to them, okay? Let's just keep that in mind. A way to reverse engineer all of this testabaki is I'm going to do this pattern. I'm going to do this pattern. I'm going to do this pattern. I'm going to do that pattern. But I'm going to find his neck, I'm going to find Irimi Nage, and I'm going to find the back of his person in the technique. So between these two guideposts, my body will learn when and how to move. Because I don't change my arms. I change my body, I can do that. I can change my timing, I can do that. Okay? So, I know my body is going to come down and do this. But I know I have to end up here. So I do my arm pattern, and I do it when and with the foot maneuver that allows me to get to the back. Or the guide rail of the hand pattern is going to teach me the tempo and how to walk, how to move, how to get to the back. Okay? What would the contrary be? They're over here now. You see, if you look at it and you start plotting that geometrically on a grid, he's coming at me, I get out of the way, I clear the line of attack, I get to the side, you see? And then I lead him to the inside as I go to the outside, and then I pull him around almost like a shot put, okay? I generate centrifugal energy with this centripetal energy, okay? But what we're going to do instead is I'm just doing my power. Okay, my arms are going to open, and I'm going to move so that it touches his neck. What does that mean? So that the next inward spiral is in the right place for the kazushi. That's how I move. Okay, let me move without the next inward spiral to be in its place, okay? So, that's not going to be an inward spiral now. I'm going to have to pull. I know my arm from here is going to go boom, right into the inward spiral. Boom, ha. Boom. It's going to open, pull right into the inward spiral. Boom. Boom. It's going to open. I have to move. So look, if you look here, it's not where it needs to be. So I have to move so that it can be where it needs to be. I don't chase him with my hands. My hands do the pattern. I move my body so that that pattern is in the right place. Pull, pull, pull. No reaching, no changing the shape. Okay? So, Jidon, Shudon goes right into the next inward spiral on the head neck area. So, very sophisticated martial principles are in your waza, but you know, it's a thing of Japanese culture to make something profound, at least from our perspective, appear overly simple. It kind of hides things in plain sight, okay? You can't see them because you're looking for complexity. You're looking for wow. And Japanese culture, like wow, it's not wow to them. It's gaudy. Okay? It's unnatural. It's forced. Okay? So your Aikido is follows suit. Okay? Let's say we're here, right? And I don't know, he does some strike. Okay, so I come here and everyone would recognize an inward parry. Okay, you see? And then boom. Everyone will recognize a check. You see the check? So he does that strike again. Everyone's going to go, yeah, check and strike. Okay? Your kihon has checks in it, but you don't see them. Okay? So when we'll just do yesterday's technique. So I'm doing Jodan. And here's that same check. There's that check. Right here. Okay? The reason you don't see the check is because you want to use the arm. You see, you want to use the arm to help turn him. Do you get it? But really, what you're doing is what? Unchecking. Do you get it? And other arts that do open check training, they're never going to give this check to do this. Especially if he has a knife, for example. If he has a knife, I'm not going to come and try to get this because he's going to stab me with it, you see. I would check in, maybe replace the check. I wouldn't ever move the blade back towards me. You get it? So we're doing Jodan, and this check is here. So in my Kazushi, took his arm off to check. Well, I didn't take my check off his arm. And now the check has an offensive purpose. So watch what I do. Okay? Boom. The check is there. I'm not using the check for the Kazushi. Boom. His arm is now no need in check because it's been checked by the Kazushi. So now the arm is repurposed. Okay? But I'm not going here and repurposing it myself because that's a martially inferior position. So now I'm doing, we'll stay low. Now I'm doing Chuda. Here's going to be the checking arm. Okay? Right there. I don't want to come underneath. I think it'll elbow me in the face. So I'm not going to come underneath and hook it with my fingers like some of you are. Again, to do the turning. Right? Or worse, again, you're dreaming. You unchecked, it's not going to happen. That's where the check is. That's where the check stays until, guess what? The Kazushi repurposes it. He comes up, it's right there. You see? It's that little guy, whoa, into the technique. So, we have a concept of control maintenance. I go from one control point to the other control point before I replace the control point. So, both the check and the Kazushi are on at the same time for a moment in time until the Kazushi takes over and then the check is no longer needed. The Kazushi is checking the person out. Okay? Again, the reason you're doing it is because you need a push-pull to do the turn. You understand? And you can't be the center of the technique and do a push-pull. You have to think about that one. Okay? It's not possible. If you're the center of the technique, you're either pushing or you're pulling, but you can't do a push-pull. If you do a push-pull, the center is somewhere between you. Do you get that? Okay. So, right here, boom, and this hand stays there, checking there. Boom, till it's not needed. Then it's repurposed. The other way you can think about it is a sword. If our swords are touching, you're not going to take your sword off of mine and try to come around and I'm going to cut the shit out of you. Right? Okay. You're just taking advantage of it, and it's Kihon, and there's no blades and stuff like that. But again, if I don't understand the martial principles, I should just do what my teacher is doing until I do. Okay?